Hey folks, welcome to the channel and thanks for being here. This year's 2025 lineup series started early with Kawasaki at the end of October. I've only found a couple other manufacturers that have posted their entire 2025 lineup so far. So while we're waiting for everyone else to get caught up, we're going to continue on with CF Moto, the Chinese representative in our list. As always, I invite you to subscribe, like, add a comment, hit the notification bell. CF Moto has 12 bikes in their offerings for 2025, with a few notable changes from last year. Some models have been dropped, others added on. Let's take a look to see what they have. We're going to start at the low end as we typically do. At the bottom of the list is a youth off-road electric bike, the CFX 2E. This bike is a new addition since my lineup video last December. The CFX 2E has 10-inch wheels, a 21.7-inch seat height, has 3 riding modes, and weighs 108 pounds. The 48-volt 1.5 kilowatt battery takes 5 hours to charge from 0 to 100%, has a top speed of 31 miles per hour, and will go for about 37 miles per charge. One color on this MSRP is $1,700. Next up are the mini bikes, the Papio bikes. Doesn't look like much has changed here. We'll start with the Papio CL. This has an adventure bike look to it with a high front fender, 126cc air-cooled engine, 1.9 gallon tank, weighs 250 pounds, 12-inch wheels, and a 29.1-inch seat height. All LED lights and ABS are standard on all their bikes, I think. Comes in 2 colors. MSRP is $3,300, same as last year. Next is the Papio SS. Same specs as the CL, except the seat height is higher at 29.9 inches. This has bar end mirrors and has more of a standard street bike look. It also has a quarter fairing and skid plate. Price is also $3,300, same as last year. We're going to move to the naked bikes next. Not much has changed here either. First on the list is the 300NK, 292cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled with 29 horsepower and 18.7 foot-pounds of torque. 31.2-inch seat height, 17-inch wheels, weighs 333 pounds, and has a 3.3 gallon tank. 5-inch TFT display, Bluetooth, LED, and ABS are all standard. Comes in 2 colors. MSRP is $4,200. Moving up to the 450NK. This has a 449cc parallel twin on a 270-degree crank with 50 horsepower and 28.8 foot-pounds of torque. I think all of their parallel twins are 270 degree from what I'm seeing. 31.3-inch seat height, weighs 364 pounds, has a 3.7 gallon tank. Same 5-inch display, Bluetooth, LED, ABS, comes in 2 colors. MSRP is $5,400. Price on this and the 300NK are the same as last year. Last of the naked bikes is the 800K with a 799cc parallel twin with 100 horsepower and 59.7 foot-pounds of torque. 31.5-inch seat height, weighs 410 pounds, and has a 4-gallon tank. This is equipped with the same 5-inch TFT display. This also has riding modes, cruise control, and a quick shifter. Comes in 2 colors. MSRP is $8,700. This is a $200 increase from last year. Moving on to the sport bikes. The 300SS has a 298cc engine, so a tiny bit more power than the naked 300. This is a change from last year. Last year, the naked 300 and the sport 300 had the same engine. 29.5 horsepower and 19.9 foot-pounds of torque on this, with a 30.7-inch seat height, weighs 364 pounds, and has a 3.2 gallon tank. ABS LED lights, 5-inch TFT, and comes in 2 colors, all the usual stuff. MSRP is $4,600. This is $100 more than last year. Next up is the 450SS. This has the same engine as the 450NK with 449cc, 50 horsepower, 28.8 foot-pounds of torque. 31.3-inch seat height, weighs 370 pounds, and has a 3.7 gallon tank. This has a feature on it called the emergency stop signal. I don't see any details on this, but I assume the rear brake flashes during sudden stops or something like that. This also has a reverse shifter option that you can get for the track where you push the lever down to upshift and vice versa. I guess this is an option used in professional racing. As usual, this has 2 colors. MSRP is $5,700, same price as last year. In last year's video, they only had 2 sport bikes, and I was wondering if they were going to add an 800cc sport bike to match the 800 naked bike. Well, they did add another sport model, but instead of an 800cc parallel twin, they have introduced the 675 SS sport bike. This is an inline triple with 95 horsepower and 51.6 foot-pounds of torque, 31.9-inch seat height, weighs 429 pounds with a 4-gallon tank. This has an upper quick shifter and tire pressure monitor, 2 colors. MSRP is $8,000 on this brand new bike. So I have a question about the inline triple engines while we're here. The 800cc parallel twin has a little more power than the 675cc inline triple. So what is the advantage to going with a smaller cc engine with 3 cylinders instead of the bigger cc engine with 2 cylinders? I've ridden the Triumph 660 triple and the Suzuki 776 parallel twin, and I enjoy the slightly more powerful parallel twin much more than the 660 triple. I know that's a personal opinion, but is there an advantage in acceleration, weight, maybe manufacturing cost to going with the triple? I'm curious why they would go with a 675cc triple instead of a more powerful 800cc double. If anyone has any thoughts on that, leave a comment below. I would be interested in finding out why the inline triples are becoming such a popular option. Anyway, moving on. Last year there were 2 CLX bikes from CF Moto that have been discontinued for 2025. So we're going to go to the third brand new edition from CF Moto for 2025. First we had the Youth electric bike, and then we had the 675 SS Sport, and now we have the 450 CLC Cruiser. 449cc parallel twin with 40 horsepower and 30 foot-pounds of torque, so this is tuned a little bit different than the 450 Naked and the 450 SS. This has a low 27-inch seat height, weighs 399 pounds, and has a 3.2 gallon tank. 3.6-inch round TFT display now. Traction control and bar end mirrors on this. This cruiser is belt driven instead of chain. 2 colors. MSRP is $5,800. The last 2 bikes on the list from CF Moto are the adventure bikes. Another change here. Last year we had 2 adventure bikes, 2 different versions with the same engine, the 800S and the 800T. For 2025 they are providing only one 800cc adventure bike, and they've added a 450cc. We'll start off with that one. The Ibex 450 has a 449cc parallel twin with 44 horsepower and 32.5 foot-pounds of torque. This as well is tuned differently than all the other 450 engines. Adjustable seat height, 31.5 to 32.3 inches. 386 pounds dry. I'm not sure why they didn't give a curb weight on that, but anyway, it's probably somewhere in the low 400s as far as curb weight goes. 4.6 gallon tank, 21-inch front wheel and 18-inch rear wheel, ABS shutoff option, 2 colors. MSRP is $6,500. And the final bike from CF Moto is the Ibex 800E. I guess they took the 800S and 800T and made an 800E out of that instead. So 799cc parallel twin with 94 horsepower and 56.9 foot-pounds of torque, 32.5-inch seat height, weighs 509 pounds, has a 5-gallon tank, 19-inch front wheel and 17-inch rear wheel. This also has cornering ABS, traction control, wheelie control, 8-inch display now, 6 riding modes, quick shifter, cruise control, TPMS, adjustable windscreen, all kinds of stuff. 2 colors. MSRP is $10,300 on this 800cc adventure bike. So that is it for CF Moto for 2025 here in the US. A broad range of options at competitive prices. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.